Happy Tuesday, everyone. Good morning. If you're just joining me, I hope you are having a wonderful morning so far. Caryn Lutz, if you had just joined my Facebook page or my personal page and I'm just getting to know you, I have been doing lives for about the last week. This is day 6 of my why and my truth. And I sat for a while this morning and thought about what I was going to speak about and what I really wanted to share. And I thought, well, it's Tuesday and I'm going to share about a teachable moment in my life. Since this is my truth and this is coming from the heart, I've been honest, I am honest, and I just wanted to share a moment in my life, I think a turning point, so that I'm going to share with you, because this is what I share with my clients as well. And if you're just tuning in, hi, good morning. I look like I just woke up, but I've been up for a while. So here's my teachable moment. Some of you may have known around 2005, 2006, I was residing in Hoboken, New Jersey. And I do thank my older sister for that opportunity. She lived there for a while, and I was able to take over the apartment there before she moved back to Pennsylvania. It was the perfect place to be. Hoboken, New Jersey, close to New York City. And I do want to give her credit, because I know that she believed in my talent. So she figured it was the perfect place for me to be. So I was in transition. During that time, I would spend a lot of time commuting back and forth because I still had commitments in Pennsylvania. I'd work at Applebee's on the weekends when I'd come back, and I worked at a restaurant in New Jersey as well. And it was just a very transitional time in my life. I graduated college a few years prior to that, and I knew that I wanted to continue in the arts, but wasn't really sure how I was going to get there. So the point of this video is to never give up, and I'm going to connect this, and I'm going to circle back around to where I was and share this part with you. So the teachable moment for my experience in Hoboken is I really never had connections. I just knew that, that I was very, very blessed and grateful with my God-given talents, singing, dancing, acting. I had my degrees, and it was time to audition. But I auditioned for, cruise ships and some off-Broadway work, and I got through a couple rounds on some. I actually have a little notebook that I saved and wrote my audition number down and all that. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have anything. Like, at this point in life, it was kind of like, yes, my family supported me. My sister and my brother-in-law as well knew that I was like in the perfect place, but everybody had that like Broadway dream for me. And like I said, I'll circle back around to this, but I'm so grateful that my life turned out the way it did, because as I listed in the description of this, family, stress, all of that, and really not being fully immersed in my God-given talents. So this was back in 2005, 2006, okay? So we're now in 2021, and I really didn't start to tap in to my gifts and really come into my purpose until a few years ago, because I held myself back. But I didn't understand how I was holding myself back. So here's what happened. Long story short, my sister had some complications with her first child, beautiful goddaughter who was born at a pound, and it stressed all of us out. So I was stressed out, I was distracted. I didn't have the connections up in New York. I knew I had the talent, but it just wasn't the time. It wasn't the place. So I end up, moving back home because I wanted to be there, with my family, trying to help my sister, with the stress of her firstborn, who is now just turned 16. Unbelievable. So after moving back, I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, what am I going to do? How is this going to work? Had pressure from family. Thank God my grandparents were very, very supportive. So I was able to live with them for a while, and I decided to move and into my educational journey and set out for my master's in elementary education. So I never regret any of my education, and I just wanted that known. And it's very interesting how my path turned. So that's what happened. My path turned from Hoboken, New Jersey, auditioning, working at restaurants, never understanding, because I wasn't fully connected. I wasn't fully connected. If you aren't committed to something, it's not going to happen regardless of anything around you. So I wanted to teach you about that today. Very glad that I had my educational journey, with my master's, but then I got in that position because it was everybody trying to tell me, what are you going to do? And doubting. And this doubting that the people have and they project it onto you held me back the most. And I wanted, to just really, at that point, have a steady income, have a steady job, because that's what I was hearing from everybody around me. But the truth of the matter was, I knew deep down, my higher self, God knew that my true talent was, singing, music, dance, spirituality. But being so distracted from everyone and everything around me really turned my journey around. Living in Hoboken was good, and I learned a lot, and I made some nice friends there. But I was very, very stressed out. And as you could see, I love living at the beach. I love nature. And that's where I belong. So everything that I do now, I love. And it took me a really long time to get there. But the point of this video was never give up. I posted a few weeks ago, like, what lesson did you learn from my life? Like, what really was a takeaway and something that you could relate to? And people said, never give up. And I thought about that for a while. And it's the truth. After college, it was transitional for me. I was working several jobs, and one episode I'll get into all the jobs that I had, because it's pretty interesting, and I never regret any of them, because I had a wide variety of employment, and I just wish I would have not been so distracted with everybody around me. I think everybody thought that they knew what was best, but ultimately God knows, and your higher self really know what's best for you. And hi, if you're just tuning in, I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope you're getting something out of this live. I never really thought that I would be an influencer, a teacher, but here I am, and this is the feedback that I have been receiving. So if you've learned anything from me, it really is never to give up. There's always a plan, and it's not logical. We have a God of order, and we have to listen. And sometimes with my ADHD, it's very difficult. But when I am focused and I get hyper-focused, I could see what lies ahead. And I block out the distractions from the family, even though I love my family very, very dearly. And they want the best for me. Sometimes we just have to listen to ourselves, really meditate, pray, ask God, and clear out all of the negativity, all of the distractions around us. And it's hard. And that's what I wanted to say to you today. My family really believes in my talents. They're stubborn at times. And I believe every family has, difficulties, traumas, dysfunction. But ultimately, we all want the best for each other. And it's important to just show love, show respect, and get out of the way. Everybody is on their own path. Everybody has their own lane. And I'll be talking about this again soon. So to recap, what I was talking about earlier is everybody wanted the best for me, and they thought New York City would be the ideal place for me back then, you know, Broadway. Yeah, that would have been cool, but I'm so much more grateful now because I get to work with Broadway alumni now. Like, it's super, super cool that my life turned around. Like, I think a lot of people's back in 2020, last year. And now I look back and I thought, oh my goodness, wait a minute, how is this even happening? But this was the plan all along. Who would have thought that on my journey that I'd be spiritually coaching people who were Broadway alumni beyond me? So you never know where you're going to end up. So my advice is to you to not project your feelings and your thoughts and your opinion onto people, but let them discover it for themselves. Yes, tough love, be supportive, but sometimes you have to fall to really rise up and discover who you are and your purposes. So I hope I inspired you today, and I hope I shared a little bit about my journey, because this is my truth. I got stressed out and so much stress and anxiety, and that's what happened. I had to really turn away from that. But like I said, I blocked my gift for the longest time, and I didn't understand what was happening. But now I look back and I do. So it's one of those things like, what could you say to yourself years ago? So I would say, never stop learning, open yourself, trust God, trust the process. The money will follow. You know, that's a big block for some people, the money. And back then, that's the truth. I wasn't sure, you know, I was working at a fine dining restaurant, but knew like I wanted to perform. But so much of my time was working for rent and paying those bills. And that distracted me from actually being immersed and really focusing 100% to getting myself out there. But the funny part is, I look back and I have no regrets about it. I did give myself that chance to go out there, but in a different way. It was just a different way. So I'm going to end in prayer, and I'm going to continue on my journey today, committed to my dreams like I have been for the last few years. So dear God, thank you for anyone watching. Please bless them. Please open their hearts. Please allow them to have infinite abundance in their life. Please open their hearts and their minds. If they're stuck and they're really on the fence about changing careers or moving or trying something new, open their hearts and show them that it's possible. I hope you bless them with love and knowledge today. I hope that all of you watching really give thanks and are grateful for all the blessings that we have today in this moment. So with that being said, thank you very much for listening, and I'll be in touch. God bless.